I actually have a wonderful tie-in for that, which is this week's Villain of the Week.
Do, 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 do.
And I told you who it was yesterday. It's Howard Rourke, who was, until this week or so, the only other architect with whom I was this familiar. Of course, he's a fictional architect. He is the main character of Ayn Rand's The Fountainhead, which I'm not going to say as a Solacene recommends. It's not exactly one of the foundational texts for our utopia. Unfortunately, it was a book that I have quite a deal of details on because in that most desperate time of any student's life, hunting for scholarships, when we were in high school, so this is grade 12, so we were like 17, I came across the Ayn Rand scholarship online, which I'm sure has hooked many a prospective undergrad. And the game was basically read one of her just massive books, The Fountainhead. I think it's like 700 or 800 pages, and write an essay on it. Unfortunately, I didn't win, but I did place. And so I got like a minor, I think I got like $50. And crucially, I'm still a member of the Ayn Rand like youth club or whatever. And every year they send me an email about their little getaway, which looks almost exactly as you'd expect it.
That sounds like one of my worst nightmares. An Ayn Rand getaway. It's like we're gonna go live in a brick cube and talk about finances.
Right. So Howard Rourke, I picked him as quite the foil to Anthony Gaudi, in that he is Rand's example of American individualism triumphing over the collective. That's kind of the story of The Fountainhead. And he's in some ways, and the book is in some ways, a proponent of her pet philosophy, objectivism, which I won't detail fully for those here. Maybe I'll link my essay in the comments where I had to sound like I had to kind of suck up, which was, I guess, not my finest moment of academic integrity.
Or just like personal integrity. I feel like they could really sell at the fact that you are not an individualist. You are.
But his style is described in the book as very minimalistic and utilitarian, similar to Gaudi. I think there are more than a couple similarities in that he, in a sense, flouts convention and is like the book starts with him in architecture school, not really appreciated by his superiors, which was the case with Gaudi also, because he took quite a liberal approach to style. He would mix Gothic with the contemporary as well as his own kind of burgeoning proto Art Nouveau stylings. And he often was a great respecter of previous styles, but also looked at them really as sources of inspiration in terms of how could this have been done better? How could this be improved upon? Howard Rourke was more like, I hate everyone and everything that isn't this. And I think his designs were slightly modeled after Frank Lloyd Wright, who was big in America at the same time as Rand was writing, who is another architect that I think is super cool and would actually be quite a Solacene style. Like, it's not so much about the aesthetics. It's more about the way that you go about enacting those or embodying those, I suppose. That said, I don't even think The Fountainhead is all bad. I think you can kind of read it as just a paean or a treatise on aesthetic purity and kind of not compromising your vision, which may be similar to Gaudi. But still, Howard Rourke is a villain, and there's a very problematic scene featuring him in the book. So
yeah, it's definitely not a Solacene recommends, but it is perhaps partially inspirational for our idea to design a utopia. And I think exposing ourselves to ideas like individualism, like Ayn Rand ideas, can make you more familiar with, I didn't realize people even thought this way.
That's a great point, because I think, and this podcast might ostensibly be quite guilty of it. It's so easy to surround yourself in a bubble with people you agree with, books that you know you're going to like before you even read them. And this is pretty much the one case where I've delved deep into something that I disagreed with quite vehemently for the sake of money at the end of it. But I do think it strengthens your ideas and it strengthens your own convictions. And it can make you more open-minded as well.